Allah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. My dear brothers and sisters, as there's wisdom for the revelation of the Quran, there's a wisdom for the Quran, how it was organized. So there's a sequence of the revelation, there are a sequence of the orders of the chapter of the Quran. Which is the last chapter in the Quran? Surah An-Nas. And what's the last word in the Quran? The word An-Nas. And the word An-Nas was mentioned in Surah An-Nas 5 times. An-Nas, An-Nas, An-Nas. Which means mankind, people. People are not the same. Because if it's the same word, would be referred with a pronoun afterwards mentioned first as a noun. So when we talk about language, when you mention first the noun, there's no need to repeat the noun again. If they refer to the same noun, then you should just say pronoun. Muhammad came, he is something, So there's no need to Muhammad came and Muhammad did, Muhammad, If I mention Muhammad again and again, you ask me, what's going on? Why you mention it again? Why again and again and again? Why? Because the first Nas, not the second Nas, not the third Nas, not the fourth, not the fifth. Each one of them is different. And there's something interesting in Arabic language. The article definition, al, it's not all at the same meaning. Even in English, to an extent, when I say, like, for example, you're talking about somebody, and then you say, the student. So you mention a specific student, not all student, yes? Okay, but in other contexts, it might mean all of them. So it's depending on the context. Here, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ إِلَٰهِ النَّاسِ مِنْ شَرِّ الْوَسْوَاسِ الْخَنَّاسِ الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ. Each one of them is different. That teach you that people are not the same. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, Allah is the Lord for all mankind. مَلِكِ النَّاسِ, those are having the saint and the intellect. And Ilahi Nas, those they choose him as a God, they worship him. It's not all of them, من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. The shaitan whispered in the heart of people that the one has control into their hearts. And min al-jinnati wan-nas. This is my point. Min al-jinnati wan-nas. Those you ask, you refuse that Allah will protect you from, not all people, only the bad one among them. Min al-jinnati wan-nas. To be careful from that. As the last message of the Quran, we're reading from the first to the last, you come to the last point that should stick in your mind. Most of the time, people, they will say, what the last word of that person he said? It's mean a lot. Last word, that's mean a lot. So here the last message, last word from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving you warning to be protected, to protect yourself from what? From the jinnati wal nas, from the bad one of jinn was shayateen, and nas, the bad one was shayateen. Because there are two types of shayateen, shayateen al-insi wal jinn. Wallahi, in many cases, it's easier to deal with the shaitan al-jinn than to deal with the shaitan al-ins. Do you agree with me or not? Shaitan al-jinn, if you sincerely from your heart said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, yakhnas. He was gone, as the Prophet said. But let's say to somebody from shaitan al-ins, so the A'udhu billahi, what he will say? He will fight you and he will be back. You turn right, he will turn with you right, turn left. You cannot get rid of that. Especially if he's after you. Subhanallah. As a joke, they said, to the shaitan who was there whispering to somebody. I said, the other person said, I have a bad idea. So now the turn of that person to whisper in the shaitan. He was talking to shaitan, in his ear. Shaitan turned to him and said, A'udhu billah mink. What you are talking about? A'udhu billah mink. Yes, human, when they have lack of iman and akhlaq, they would be worse than shayateen. Wallahi, they will be worse shayateen. Billahi alaykum. Now what's happening for those killing the innocent people in Gaza, for example? Are there shayateen or even worse than shayateen? Worse than shayateen, when person has no akhlaq, no manners, no religion, nothing could stop him doing whatever you do. you will see the real evil in humanity. Wallahi. There's good and bad inside. There's a good, bad inside. Iman and khulq, that will make the good things appear. And that's pressing down the bad ones. But if lack of that, what's appear? Just all evil and all bad. Wallahi, if something that will lead you to Jannah, that's one important Jannah, the suhbah salihah, the good company, the good people, the good among an-nas. And if something that will lead you to hellfire, the worst place in hellfire, that's people as well. So we have to be careful who's surrounding us. We have to adjust our surrounding and our company and people that are around us. Do not be fooled by this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us at the last chapter in the Quran, قُلْ عَنْدُ رَبِّ النَّاسِ, and He said at the end, مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ شَيَاطِينَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ يُوحِي بَعْضُهُمْ إِلَى بَعْضٍ زُخْرُفَ الْقَوْلِ غُرُورًا. One time, there is a tyrant, a bad person, and he's a ruler. He said to people, can you give me a title? This one, Al-Hakim bi-amrillah, Al-Qadi bi-amrillah, Al-Mu'tasimu billah. He said, I think the best title that fits with you, Al-Iyadu billah. You know, some people, when you see them, they remind you about Allah. Some other, when you see them, they remind you about shaitan. Stay away from them. Do not even try to do anything with them, because that might be the biggest problem that lead you to the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, be in a صحبة الصالحين. لا تصحب الكسالى واترك قيلا وقالا ولا تكن بطالا ثقيلا في الميزان. اصحب رجال العلم أولي التقى والفهم أولي التقى والعلم مستحضرا الفهم والنقل بالإتقان. Be in a good company. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, المرء على دين خليله فلينظر أحدكم من يخالل. The person who will follow the practice or religion of his friend, so you should really see who is. Can I give you good criteria, simple criteria? Who's the person should be in your company? The other person that you not feel embarrassed if one day you met with Rasulullah, that to introduce your friend to him, to be proud of him. The good company, the good friend, that you will feel no embarrassment, no shame, that to introduce that person to the Prophet ﷺ and said, this is my friend. As Rasulullah himself said, leave for me my friend. And who is the friend of Rasulullah? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And who is your friend? That's a question that you should answer yourself. And he's the person that will lead you to Jannah or not. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose for us good people that will help us to please you, O Allah. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا وبلغنا في الدارين مطلوبنا. آمين. فيك بارك الله.